Okay, test number 2, better lighting. There goes the dog. Leave the plane alone. Thank you. Do a quick, no, leave the remote alone as well. Okay, test number 2. Throttle up. Throttle down. Rudder control. Elevator up. Elevator down. Turn. On the aileron. So I get down to the better angle here. I'm at a bad angle for this. So everything all up, everything all down. They work independently, as you can see. And then back over that rudder. As you can see, the dog is very interested in it, but and about my remote and everything else. But there we go. It's a much better test. I seem to have gotten the radio to mix properly with this thing finally. Which means when I get it in the air, I'll actually have to just remember what the heck I did, because I'm not necessarily remembering if I turn certain things off. Yeah, the mix. Okay, definitely the mix is in there with the switches. Okay, something else I forgot to check. But that's it. It's up. It's running. I just have to make myself an extension wire now that I think about it, because the battery is. I'll give it a flip. Just do it a quick flip over here. There we go. I haven't put my magnet in it yet either. But there's hatch 1, and there's pretty much the guts. And the battery is here for now, just while I'm doing my testing. But it's not going to be there. The battery has to go all the way up to hatch number 2. And it's supposed to, whoops, stay open. Hatch number 2, and it's supposed to go up against the top, right about here in the nose, to balance it out. And with a piece of Velcro, I'll be able to shift it back and forth to adjust the CG a little bit. And like I said, I have to anchor the ESC with a piece of Velcro, and the receiver I got to tack it down as well. As you can see, I've already got the Velcro on the back of the. I don't know if you can see that, but and there, a little fuzzy edge. The Velcro on the back of it, ready to go. He's on the trailer piece as well. So I'll be able to get that set up. That's going to just take a couple of minutes to do, but the servos are all adjusted and aligned. My mixes are set up. The radio is set up. And my biggest problem right now is, I'll just do a quick look out the window here. As you can see by the trees by across the street there, we have in the range of 25 to 30 km/h winds. And this is a typical day here in Greenfield Park, Canada. So, as you can see, it's not a good flying day, but it's nice out. It's good temperature, but it's just way too windy for these things. They're just going to blow this all over. But anyway, like I was saying, there's that. I put a microjet D3 on there. I don't know if you can see that very well. It doesn't look very much in focus. But as I was saying, I always do my tests, like throttle up test. I leave the prop off, so that when I'm doing my tests, if the dopey mutt, which is sitting over there waiting for a chance to get into this, if he decides that he's going to try and get into this, at least he doesn't try and chomp down on the prop or something, as he did once before on my other plane. The nice big 8x4 prop and full throttle test, and he came over for whatever reason, decided he was going to try and catch the prop. So since then, I don't test with the prop on. I don't need any accidents myself after having surgery. And I'd show you that, but nobody wants to see that. That's pretty gross. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. It's up. It's running, and I just got to wait for a better day and put my prop on, and off I go, anchor my stuff. But like I said, I just have to make an extension cable to go between here and this point up here, which is not so bad. It's just a 2-wire cable, which I have. And I've got myself extra Dean's connectors, so there's no problem. I'll just make an extension, a Dean's extension cable about, I don't know, I'll have to measure, but it's probably about 12 inches or 14 inches, just to make sure it'll reach, because the wiring from the speed controller here is at its maximum. I can't pull it any further without popping the motor off, the motor connections off. So I'm going to anchor the ESC here, just so you can see. I don't know if you can see that or not. Inside there, it's a piece of balsa, and this is what threw me when I was building it. There was a, let's stuff that back in there for a moment. When they built it, I had to go, that's why I asked about the conversion mount, because their mount was a conversion mount. So I had to get a conversion piece so I could screw it onto the back of that style motor, which I didn't have before. Now I have that, so it's mounted on there pretty good. Something else I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to make the cardboard a tail cone that goes here and paint it black. I don't know if I will or if I won't, because given the when you look at it from this angle, given where the motor sits, maybe I should have made the shaft a little longer, but the way the prop is going to sit, a 6x4 prop, it's going to be awfully close to these edges, and I'm not sure if it's going to cut that or not. So I may actually trim this a little bit to make sure that it doesn't catch the prop, and I may, on all my control surfaces, tack on about a 1-inch piece of foam to increase my control surface, so I have a little bit more control, more throw in the air, because I notice that even with the throws the way it is, it's not going to be as responsive as it could be, and I know it'll throw the look of it off a little bit, but I'd rather have more control than a good look and not be able to control the plane, to be honest. But that's it. There she is, an AVRO Arrow. It's all built. I just used acrylic paint, but pretty straightforward. The canopy, I used a 1/2 inch piece, and I cut a strip and I just shaped it. There's a permanent marker on it to make the windows, which didn't come out as good as I'd hoped, but that's okay. I'm no artist. At least I don't claim to be anyway. Oh, touch up. But, even the decals, I found the decals online. I just printed it off the on the strap. Printed it offline. My wife found those, and I figured that would be pretty close. I just used glue stick, rubbed the foam, put it in place, and then rubbed over the top of it. And there's no edge, loose edge or anything. Hopefully it won't come off the plate. I don't think it will though. It's in. There's the servos. Just get a good grip on that. There we go. Get a good look at that. Servos. Oh, I had mentioned once before about a servo mount, and what I noticed it was doing in this plane, I don't know how well you can see that, but it should be relatively clear according to the screen here. I noticed that when I put the servo in and I was running the servo, what was happening was it would actually twist the foam when the servo would operate. The foam itself would buckle from side to side as the servo moved. So what I did was I cut a little U-shape out, and I attached it to the foam underneath, and I did it 2 layers. You can't really see that there, but there's 2 layers of foam in there, 2 pieces of foam that I cut into a U-shape, and I glued those down in place and sunk the servo in. And I made it just slightly smaller than the servo, so when it went in really tight. So that when you're looking at the servo, when it's tacked on, as you can see, it's just a little bit here on the edge of the foam, which will pop right off. There's no glue on any of the sides on it. It's just the glue on the tip there. I probably could have even screwed it in now that I think about it, but when someone had asked me once before what I use for glue, well, see if we can get a good shot of this. There we go. Just like pushing a bead of silicone along something you're trying to seal it. You use a hot glue, you put your hot glue gun down, you get the bead in front of it, you put the hot glue gun down, and you just push as you go along, and it makes a nice even bead like you see here. And it tacks it down. It's done on all surfaces. I've taped off my leading edge all the way around, all the way up. Even here I put a bit of tape on the on the little step here, because I have a feeling the minute it's going to hit the ground it's really going to crush the heck out of that, but it's okay. If it has to come off, it has to come off. I don't think it's going to affect this foam plane all that much. And this is just a 1/4 inch dowel that I use to tape across it, and then again in the tail, you can't really see it because of the paint, but there's a 1/4 inch dowel here in the tail as well. It goes right through to the underside, and what I did with this when I put it in, I cut a notch here at the front, and I made like a hook, so when it goes in, it has to go in like this. You pull it back, and it slides back in place, and this punches in a hole that's in the back here, and locks it, and then from there, I hot glued it from the inside to the back of the wing before I adhered the wing to the fuselage, and then hot glued it. And then since I added tape along the leading edge of this as well, I let the tape come down and give it a little more strength here in the front. So it's actually pretty solid. And the control horn I tore out, which I'll have to repaint, but it was this one here. It actually pushed the front end of this, it tore it right out because I did something I wasn't used to doing. I used a rubber cement to see what it was going to do. And I should have stuck to the hot glue, but it was a dumb thing, and well, anyway, there you have it. So there it is, one AVRO Arrow, all ready to go. And hopefully I'll get some good flying weather, and I'll be up to it in the next few days, and I'll be able to get out and maybe get some video if I can get an actual camera person with me. So there you have it, folks.